Hi, my name is Jennifer Hatch, and I am an occupational therapist here at Fluens. And today I'm going to talk a little bit about occupational therapy within the school system and some benefits that has, maybe a little bit compared to an outpatient center where I work here, and why an individualized education plan doesn't always necessarily mean that your child needs occupational therapy. So through an IEP or an individualized education plan, kiddos can receive services in school who have a variety of developmental delays, maybe diagnoses or whatever it may be, to help them succeed within that academic setting. A lot of the times on an IEP, a child will receive occupational therapy services. So if a child is struggling in school, it may not just be due to academic struggles, but it may be something underlying where we have motor coordination delays, maybe we have some sensory processing difficulties, maybe we have some executive functioning difficulties where we have a hard time with memory, regulating ourselves, so emotional regulation, which can sometimes result in some emotional outbursts at school. And so through an IEP, if your child has occupational therapy services, the OT would work with the child to identify where we're struggling in school, whether it's sensory, motor, attention, regulation. And then the OT would work on those skills. Sometimes an OT will pull them from the classroom. Sometimes the OT will step into the classroom, so push in and pull out. Either way, it's great to have an OT in the school system because they're right there. They're seeing them within that natural environment. They can collaborate with the teachers to talk about maybe some of the deficits or strategies to help them overcome so that they are not fidgeting in their seat so much, so they're able to pay attention, or they're working on their fine motor skills so they can write their name, or we're working on some redirection strategies to help with attention in the classroom so that we can succeed and learn. When a child receives occupational therapy within the school system, it's really important for you as a parent to stay in touch, get involved, see what they're working on at school. A lot of the times that communication can kind of fall off. We go to school, we do our work, we come home, and we're, kind of dealing with our nighttime routines. But it's really important to stay involved, see what they're working on in school, so that you can carry that over at home so that the child has greater success. So if your child has an IEP and they receive occupational therapy services, that does not mean that they do not need occupational therapy services outside of school. Within the school system, they're focusing on the handwriting, focus, a little bit of regulation. So they're focused more on those academic-based tasks, but there's so much more to a child than academics. Outside of school-based services, we can address more of the life skills, more of those self-care skills. So just because a child gets OT in the school doesn't mean that they don't need it outside of school, and vice versa. Just because we get it outside of school doesn't necessarily mean that we need it inside of school. So if your child is receiving occupational therapy services within the school system and you find that it's maybe not enough support that you're looking for, give us a call. We don't have a wait list and we can get you right in, and we would love to help your kiddo. Thanks.